All right, we're back with part two. Some of the documents that we will need, not necessarily that the trustee will need for everything, but we need for various purposes, will be pay stubs for all individual parties here that are filing, whether it's single or joint. Joint filing, of course, being husband and wife. And filing in sole, you could be married and file all by yourself as a husband or wife, or as a single person as well. But we'll need paychecks and or other types of proof of income for the last 6 months. We'll also need to have that information for year to date. Statements of accounts of all types of financial institutions for the last 6 months. This includes savings, checking account, financial institutions, include banks, savings, loans, credit unions, include your interest statements. If you have dividend statements and whatnot from stock holdings, that's also going to be required. So anything that's going to prove your income for a period of time that includes the last 6 months and year-to-date information is what we're looking for. Pink slips, registrations, and other papers of title to your motorhome or your vehicle. In fact, that includes trailers and whatnot, ATVs, boats, RVs, anything that you need to go to the Department of Motor Vehicles or the equivalent in your state. Those are going to be necessary because the trustee is going to want the VIN numbers and whatnot, the license numbers, and they're traceable. So he's going to know about it. It's just a way for him to cross-check to make sure that you're being truthful and accurate in your filing. Copies of deeds and mortgages, if you have them, trust deeds, liens. Most people don't really have access to all of that stuff, but you would be really good to be able to substantiate the type of title that you hold on any real estate that you have. And of course, this includes timeshares, second homes, anything that's real estate, a bare lot, a house. If you have an appraisal on your personal residence, that would be really good. Most courts that I know of are actually taking Zillow now as their guideline. They actually do a very good job, believe it or not. I was surprised. I was skeptical when Zillow came out in the first place, but it's turned out to be a really good appraisal tool. Lease agreements. You include lease agreements on motorhomes, vehicles, rent-to-own property, your apartment, whatnot. If you have a deposit on something, we need to know about that. Paperwork from any lawsuits, foreclosures, judgments, liens, garnishments filed within the last 2 years. Insurance policies. The court is especially interested in insurance policies that have a liquidation value. The safest thing to do is, of course, to give all insurance policy numbers and the agency from which they're issued. You must have your state and federal income taxes filed. If you have, I guess there are some states that don't have income taxes, but if your state has an income tax, you're going to need at least 2 years worth. So be sure that that's part of the information that you have on hand and can show us if we're going to construct your petition for you. That's just going to be very helpful so we can get some numbers and don't have to chase everything down. With your insurance companies, be sure to add all of your riders if you have any. Okay, we've got documents relating to any type of retirement account, including IRAs, 401ks, etc. Most of those are exempt one way or the other. I don't worry too much about that. But what the trustee wants to know is what is in the estate. If you're separated or divorced, it would be nice if you had a judgment decree of that, or some kind of other filing that you may have started against your spouse if that's what's going on in your life. Security agreements, financing statements, payments, bills for all personal property. For instance, if you went and bought, I mentioned furniture earlier, it could be pretty much anything. If there's a financing statement, we pretty much need to know about it. Statements or certificates of interest in anything, pretty much any investments. That includes stocks, bonds, money market accounts, investments, including your education or tuition trust accounts, anything that is that you've been paying into that's got a deposit that maybe it hasn't been paid out, maybe it's accumulated for something, there's more than likely an exemption for it, but just don't leave it out. If you intend to receive, or you know that you're going to receive some kind of money in the future, perhaps from the estate of a decedent, somebody who has passed away, or you have some kind of future interest in royalties, or just about anything, any type of money that you expect to receive in the future, your an accounts receivable, you need to be sure, bonuses, and you need to be sure to tell the court. So have those available. If you have filed for bankruptcy in the last 8 years and gotten a discharge, there are special rules. So we need to know about that as far as to what you can and cannot file. You are not going to get a discharge, basically, if you have had a discharge within the last 8 years, file date to file date. Payroll deductions. Statements for payroll deductions allowed by the IRS. This includes payroll deduction accounts for uninsured health care and dependent care costs, etc. The most recent statement from all student loans, your home address for the past 3 years, utility bills for the last 6 months, driver's license and state identification cards you're going to need. In fact, that oftentimes you have to file that with the paperwork initially. Social Security card and other documents which prove your Social Security number. All documents relating to a disabled veteran status. And we have forms that you can fill out, and depending on which process you want to go through, it can either be mailed to us or forwarded to us, or if we do an online session face-to-face, we have video conferencing one-on-one, two-way. I can see you, you can see me if you've got a webcam, and we can go through all of those things at that time. So that's pretty much most of the documentation. I'm thinking we're fairly well done. There is a determination that needs to be made, and that has to do with the means test. The means test is a fairly new item within the bankruptcy document set, and basically what it's trying to determine is whether or not you qualify for Chapter 7 absolutely, or if your income is so high that you would automatically be locked into a Chapter 13 3 to 5 years, or if you had options to take it from Chapter 13 territory because you had exceptional expenses such as health care for a child, which really were a drain on your current income. Those are the two things that really come to mind. The creditors have decided that they want to try and get as much money back from you as possible. So the means test was pretty much implemented through legislation in 2005 when they reformed the bankruptcy code. Most people who are in a status of a simple Chapter 13 probably the means test is irrelevant to them, so I wouldn't worry too much. But if it turns out that you actually belong in Chapter 13 territory, other arrangements can be made. Those arrangements, of course, would probably include the participation of an attorney, and that's just the way that is. It's not something we can do directly. On the other hand, I guess part of what I should say is there are lots of chapters of bankruptcy. The ones that pretty much apply to individuals are Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. Chapter 7 is just a straight liquidation. Chapter 13 is, you might want to call it a wage earner repayment plan, and the determination here is to decide if you can pay some of your creditors back some portion of what you owe. Of course, there are business things for Chapter 11. If you're a municipality, they actually have a chapter for cities and counties. It's Chapter 9, and then there are others for international entities, stockbrokers, farmers. There are a number, but you really have to be concerned primarily with Chapter with Chapter 7 and Chapter 13, unless uh, your 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 asset level, your unsecured and secured asset levels go over a certain marginal area, and that's very high. It's $1 million, give or take, on one, and 400,000 on another. I'm not sure of the exact number at the moment, but we will know if you go over that area and say, listen, that's out of our territory. We need to send you to an attorney if you're going to do this, because it's complicated beyond what we're allowed to do. The structure of the site itself, you'll see a couple of things there. One will be a two-way video link. You can do one of many things. You can call us directly at area code 559-840-1143. I am in the Pacific time zone. I would prefer not to work before noon Pacific. I will work up till 8 o'clock in the evening Pacific time. We can have a one-on-one conference in video. If you don't have video, we can have audio chat on our site. We can pretty much accommodate you remotely much better than in the past. I've always dreamed about the day when I could sit at home, do my thing, and be able to conference on video through computer to get the work done. And this is just a delight for me. I hope this presentation has given you some ideas and given you some information. Please feel free to give us a call. Thank you for visiting the site, and I hope to hear from you.